Alhamdulillah. Wassalatu wassalam ala Rasulillah. Amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the first in the series of videos on how to get the best out of your Quran and Dua goals using Dua Coach as a powerful tool. In this video, we will show you how to use the power of intention and how it leads to your Quran and Dua success. Making that intention is the first step to becoming a Hafiz, or the first step to learning a surah or a juz of the Quran. Intention is establishing a change of mindset, and we will help you to create that new or different reality. We will do this by firstly having a look at your current Quran and Dua habits and establish your default position. Then we will take it from the base up and remind you on the benefits of reading the Quran and Duas. We will go on to explore the reason that even though you may know and understand the benefits, you still may not get round to learning the Quran and Duas. And we will take these reasons and challenges and see how Dua Coach can help you overcome some of these issues. So, this table will help you gain a basic picture of your current Dua and Quran habits. If you draw out this simple table and fill in the numbers, allocate how much Quran you may recite either by reading, memory or listening per day, week, month or year. Then do the same for the du'as you make during the same periods. Keep your salah separate, as this should be standard for you. And if it's not, then again, this should highlight the gaps you may have. This way you are building up a picture of your reading and reciting habits. This is like going to the dentist, where the dentist takes an initial reading of your teeth, then finds out where the improvements need to be made. When filling out the numbers, think about if you read Surah Qaf on a weekly basis, or Surah Al-Mulk on a daily basis, or maybe your du'as for when you greet somebody, when you go to bed, etc. Once you have filled in your current state, then you need to think about how much you want to do per day, per month, or per year. The difference of these two numbers is where you need to improve and the areas of work. Once you have done that, let's go right back to basics and re-establish your connection with the Quran and Du'as by reminding yourself on why you should indeed read the Quran and what the actual benefits of doing so are. Before we actually start changing our mindset, we need to remind ourselves why we actually want to develop our Quran and Dua habits, and spending time and effort away from our family, our friends and our entertainment. We need to seat firmly the reason why we are doing this. So, what value does learning the Quran and Duas bring for you? Of course, in the next life, it will bring us many unknown benefits, inshallah, as long as our intention is for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah will fulfill His promise to us, as we know that if you put your trust in anyone, at some point or set of circumstances, they will let you down. But we know if we put our trust in Allah, this will be guaranteed. So, firstly, reading the Quran has many benefits, such as being a witness for us or against us on the Day of Judgment. Every letter we read adds to our scale of good deeds. Also, the fact that it keeps you on the path of taqwa, which in English can be translated roughly as avoiding forbidden things, by having a protection from the wrath of Allah. When leading or performing the prayer for yourself, your family, friends or community, you will have a better understanding of the verse which leads you to more peace and sincerity in your prayers. Also, you'll be able to learn a new range of verses rather than the same ones you have learnt as a child. The Quran is a book from Allah, and with His might and His power, we still avoid the knowledge contained within His book. We scholarly study every other book, but this gives us an opportunity to study the words and the message of our Creator in our own language. When we learn and study certain parts of the Quran and memorize du'as, then you have the tools in your memory which can protect your family and yourself from shaitan, inshallah. Have you ever been in a situation where you wished you knew the specific dua, like when someone has passed away, or someone sneezes, or when you are opening a meeting, By learning the du'as and committing them to memory, in more situations you will know the du'a to use in accordance with the sunnah and not feel lost over what to recite. One of our biggest and heaviest responsibilities in this life is to guide your children to the best people they can be. And teaching them the Quran and du'as will not only benefit yourself and your children. When a person dies, all his good deeds cease except for three: a continuous charity, beneficial knowledge, and a righteous son who supplicates for him. So taking the time to learn and teach your children, they will become the cornerstone of a better society, inshallah. These are a few benefits of learning the Quran and Dua, and this should act as a reminder and in turn change your mindset and focus your intention on making the commitment to learning and prioritizing the Quran and Duas over other activities. Though with this new mindset, people still don't make the action to learn. And so we will explore some of these reasons where people still fall short and fail to reach their goals, so you don't make the same mistakes. Now, with an invigorated, motivated intention to learn, we will have a look at the pitfalls people make and the type of things that bump them back to their old way of thinking and back to their old mindset. Even with knowing and understanding the immeasurable benefits of doing so, in this slide we will uncover the reasons, and in the next slide we will address the factors mentioned. So firstly, one of the easiest reasons why people give for not learning is lack of time, because they have kids to look after, or schoolwork to do, or even personal projects to complete. Though when you look further, they often know every episode or character in a TV drama or a movie. A second reason why people don't end up completing the task is the mere size of the task. They look at the Quran and don't believe that they can read it in their language or memorize portions of it or even read it fluently. The answer is simple: to have a plan and break down the whole task into bite-sized pieces, which we will discuss in the next slide. Another reason why people fail to learn is what I call the Coke bottle effect. When a Coke bottle is shaken, there is a lot of fizz and bubbles at the top. When this dies down, the Coke becomes flat. People get very fired up when they start to learn, but when the excitement dies down, so does their learning, and so they give up. We can help you maintain a constant pace, inshallah. Some people have the attitude from when they were in madrasa that learning the Quran is a painful or dull experience, and people have been programmed to associate learning the Quran with uncomfortable thoughts and feelings, and so struggle to ignite their love for the text again. We have new and exciting ways at Dua Coach to use technology to learn and get you out of the negative past. Others refuse to invest money, time or resources into their Quran and Dua support, as some people don't need any assistance, motivation, guidance or structure to their learning and are self-motivated. But those people who do need it are never ready to move forward to make the investment, and again their progress falls flat. Some people defer their learning to when they grow old and don't take action now. As we know, the successful people learn and take action straight away. Also, as we all know, we may never reach old age. Lack of motivation or direction is another key inhibitor to success, which is what Dua Coach is best at, giving you motivation. There are many other excuses people give for not learning, which are temporary barriers for them. If you place the Quran and Dua as your number one priority, these excuses will fade away. Let's now see how Dua Coach can help remove these obstacles from your ultimate goal of learning Quran and Duas. We will learn how Dua Coach can help you in later videos by setting goals and getting support, but let's first address some of the excuses we mentioned in this slide. With the time excuse, you don't need to search for time. Time finds you. Dua Coach sends you emails, and as people naturally check emails a number of times an hour, your portion of the lesson will be delivered to you at your chosen time and at the amount you are ready for. So if you are waiting for the bus or picking up kids from school or just at your desk at work, it takes you less than a minute to read from your smartphone, learn your lines or words, and put your phone away again until the next email. The excuse of it being such a daunting task, Dua Coach uses its algorithm to divide up your lesson based on your speed and breaks it down into manageable chunks, which then makes a huge task look very much achievable. Our Coke bottle effect that I mentioned earlier will be diffused, as this is a slow yet consistent learning habit that has been developed that runs in parallel to your daily routine. We are not introducing anything cumbersome, where you have to travel to a place or allocate a specific time. We are looking for long-term success rather than the short-term fizz. Where we mentioned painful learning experience from the madrasa, we are introducing a more intelligent means of learning via technology, via iPhone, iPad, mobile, the ability to compete with your friends and family, a point system for encouragement and incorporating fun, memory techniques, which is a far cry from the traditional learning methods. In terms of price, we charge at what is known as a no-brainer price, where the cost of Dua Coach is not set as a barrier to gain support and advice, but is great value and feature-rich. For motivation and checkpoints, here at Dua Coach we use several different techniques. We have the ability to pair you up with your friends or family. We have point collections. We have regular updates. We have a progress bar and the ability to see your friend's history, and more to come inshallah. Just to recap, we had a look at your current Quran and Dua habits. We went on to take things back to basics and realign your motivation and your intentions of wanting to learn. We covered the things that still could hold you back from learning, and finally, how we can address these issues. Join us in the next video where we will talk about setting goals and making plans, inshallah.